All right, as we come to you from the swamp, the sewer that is Washington, D.C., joining us now at the big reaction to breaking news tonight, counsel to the president, Kellyanne Conway. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm great, Sean.
You like it? We didn't give you any heat. They actually, they handed me a heated seat. And I'm like, give it to the guests. I don't need a heated seat. Welcome back. This is not small. You've been in the White House for the entire year. There's no evidence of this collusion narrative of the media. I've watched you try and fight with these idiots over on the whole network.
How about when I held up the papers on your show? They're so easily baited. Collusion, delusion, illusion, conclusion, no collusion. And here we are 6 months later, still.
But here we are also.
But it's a very serious matter now, of course. You know, people should be outraged at what
we know the fix was in on Hillary's email so she could keep running. We know the people involved. We have the text messages. And then we know that her paid-for dossier was used to spy on an opposition candidate and an incoming president. This isn't funny.
Look, I want to make something very clear. The president went to Quantico last month. He respects greatly the rank and file of the FBI, the 25,000 or so men and women who work very hard and who are not involved in this particular episode. We are just processing the memo at the White House. The president will look upon it very deliberatively. He takes it very seriously. But at this moment, we should just leave it to those who are going out and investigating and making some new facts known, as some of your guests are doing, so that the American people can at least have a transparent, accountable way to decide what they see here.
The president.
We're focusing on that man in the White House giving a speech right behind us in the Capitol tomorrow.
There's a big story to tell that, again, I have to go back to the media. They have never told it. They've never talked about, we have 2.2 million new jobs, 2 million fewer people on food stamps, consumer confidence through the roof, 2/4 of 3+% GDP growth, and the tax plan kicks in February 1.
Well, let's keep going. Even before it, quote, kicks in, Sean, you have, as of this morning, 274 employers, companies, taking action directly related to the tax plan.
No, they're crumbs. I was poor in my life, in my adult life. Crumbs is $1,000 or $2,000 to.
Well, that's according to Nancy Pelosi. It sounded much like that comment, the deplorables. I mean, they're just so out of touch. They're so out of the mainstream, so out of touch with America. Tonight, the Senate rejected, the Democrats rejected an ability to put into law the pain-capable bill where you would ban abortions after the 20th month when a fetus can feel pain. They're so out of touch with America, calling that crumbs. It's real bread, lady. It's not crumbs. What's the real bread? $1,000, $2,000 bonuses. Raises in wages, but also you see all these companies repatriating their wealth now, agreeing to create new jobs here.
All the factories coming back, all the manufacturing centers.
Over 200,000 manufacturing jobs created. And Sean, this is very simple. In 2010, when the Democrats lost control of the House, Nancy Pelosi was no longer the speaker and likely won't be again. Barack Obama went on to be successfully reelected, but he even admitted that they had suffered a shellacking. But they were all trying to defend their votes for Obamacare, and that was becoming increasingly unpopular. This year, the Republicans are going to brag about their vote for tax cuts and what it means to the American people. So far, you have over 3 million Americans who have directly benefited from that tax cut because of what their employers have done. And the pressure is on other employers now. If you don't go ahead and reinvest that money in your workforce, in your workplace, those workers will go somewhere else. We are becoming a nation of jobs and labor.
We have, since the history of them taking demographics on unemployment, the lowest unemployment level for Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, women, 17-year low.
Teens is down.
I mean, it's amazing.
And it's incredible. And the reason you don't hear it is because people are focusing on other things, but it almost doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. Folks know that their 401ks are fatter. They know their confidence is up and they're spending more money. They know that the value of their retirement savings or education savings. This president's tax bill expands the 529 savings plan through education. That allows you to save money earlier for your children's
education. Got very little coverage.
It gets very little coverage, but we're going to continue to talk about it because that's key. And what are people going to ask me? How do we get women? How to talk about the education savings expansion? This is what people care about. But this president, between the regulations, the taxation, ISIS is on the run. What he's done in one short year to stimulate this economy, to keep us safer, and to make us prouder is really remarkable.
But back to our top story. Andrew McCabe is gone. This memo is going to be released. I'm told it will shock the conscience. Then you have an investigation fixed on top of her primary, Hillary Clinton's primary, but an investigation obviously fixed when crimes were committed. No wonder people were shouting, lock her up. But it gets worse than that. then her phony Russian dossier used as a foundation to get a warrant to spy on Donald Trump and his campaign and an incoming president. This, to me, is the biggest political scandal in American history.
Sean, you know what happens when we talk about the 2016 elections and that woman who lost miserably, who should have won, whose name I'm not allowed to say on TV anymore, her. They say you just can't get over the election. We're way past it. But this is not about an election that Donald Trump won. And
about
it's
our
not
Constitution.
It's about democracy and the Constitution. It's about people being able to know if justice and democracy has been subverted. And when you go through all of that evidence and you go through all of the revelations, you scratch your head yet again, and you're thinking, this woman had every advantage, all the king's horses, all the king's men, all the money, all the personnel.
All the media.
And still blew it. Well, you know, famously, people were telling her, gosh, I just was in Michigan and Wisconsin. There's Trump pen signs everywhere. There's no Hillary signs. You better get out here. But they didn't come.
Kellyanne, I know you're working hard every day.
Really proud of the president. This will be a great State of the Union address tomorrow. Everybody should watch it.
And we'll be
positive.
on immediately thereafter.